Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Codex, or Leanne takes on Mass Effect Codex. We have the secondary codexes.
You smell, dude, 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 dude.
Baby, I will silence you. So yeah, we're on the Mass Effect. You did realise I put you on hold? So this is the secondary codexes for the Citadel, or just as we're leaving the Citadel for the first time. So we have aliens, non-council races. The Krogan rebellions. I don't remember if we did the Krogans. Did we do the Krogans?
Maybe.
Did I do the codex for the Krogans, do you know?
Maybe.
Okay, I'll do the Krogans. After the Ragnar War, the quick-breeding Krogan expanded at the expense of their neighbours. Warlords leveraged their veteran soldiers to seize living space, while the council races were still grateful. Over centuries, the Krogan conquered world after world. There was always just one more needed. When the council finally demanded withdrawal from the Sari colony, Lugia, Krogan overlord Krennic stormed off the Citadel, daring the council to take their worlds back. But the council had taken precaution. The finest STG operators and the Sari huntresses had been drafted into a covert observation force. The Office of Special Tactics and Reconnaissance, the Spectres. The Spectres opened the war with crippling strategic strikes. Krogan planets went dark as computer viruses flooded the extranet. Sabotaged antimatter refineries disappeared and blue-white annihilation. Headquarters stations shattered into orbit, clogging debris, rammed by pre-placed suicide freighters. Still, this has only delayed the inevitable. The war would have been lost if not for first contact with the Turians, who responded to the Krogan threats with a prompt declaration of war. Being on the far side of the Krogan space from the Council, the Turians advanced rapidly into the lightly defended Krogan rear areas. The Krogan responded by dropping space stations and asteroids onto Turian colonies. 3 worlds were rendered completely uninhabitable. This was precisely the wrong approach to take with the Turians. Each is first and foremost a public servant, willing to risk his life to protect his comrades, rather than increasing public war weariness. Krogan tactics stifened Turian resolve. The arrival of the Turian task forces saved many worlds from the warlords' marauding fleets, but it took development of the genophage bioweapon to end the war. There were decades of unrest afterwards. Rogue warlords and holdout groups of insurgents refused to surrender or disappear into the frontier systems to become pirates. We are back, still with more Leanne interruptions. Quarian's pilgrimage. When Quarians of the migrant fleet reach young adulthood, they must leave their birth ship and find a new crew to accept them as permanent residents. To prove themselves, they must recover something of value. This is offered to the prospective captain. as that they will not be a mere burden on the shoestring resource of the ship. This process is called the pilgrimage. um, Stripped of ritual, the pilgrimage is merely an attempt to maintain genetic diversity within a small, relatively isolated population bases that make up the migrant fleet. If the young stayed unmarried within their birth vessel, the risk of inbreeding would increase sharply. Quarians are surgically fitted with their various immunity boosting implants in preparation for leaving on pilgrimage. Having grown up within the sterile, controlled environments of the migrant fleet ships, Quarians have virtually no immune systems. Yeah, I have sex with beds. Seen that. So we have the Citadel Serpent Nebula doing the sexy dance with the pillow. The Citadel is surrounded by a blue-tinted reflection nebula. The light of the nebula is actually light from the Citadel, scattered and reflected back at the station. At first, the Serpent Nebula was assumed to be made of microscopic construction debris. Prevailing theory holds that the Protheans used molecular nanotechnology to manufacture the incredible durable materials used in the Citadel. But unlike other nebula, the Serpent does not dissipate over time. Therefore, it must be replenished constantly. The current popular theory is that the non-recyclable waste collected by the Citadel's keepers is somehow rendered down to the atomic or molecular level and ejected into the cloud. The thick nebula presents a navigation hazard beyond the relatively clear areas around the Citadel. Electrical discharges are common. These are not blocked by kinetic barriers and can severely damage metal-framed starships. In addition, some dense knots of dust can overwhelm the repulsions of kinetic barriers on smaller ships. If such a vessel is moving fast at the time, the effects are similar to being hit by a sand blaster. Attempting to reach the Citadel through open space navigation is unadvisable. The only safe approach is through the various mass relays that orbit it. Okay, let's go again. Let's see if Leanne interrupts even more. Ships and vehicles. Cruiserweight starships are the standard combat unit encountered away from the large naval bases. The poor bloody infantry of most fleets, nimble scouting frigates, have neither the punch nor the stamina to stand up to serious combat. And mighty dreadnoughts are a strategic resource, carefully hoarded and committed to the most critical battles. Cruisers perform routine independent show the flag patrols in settled systems and lead flotillas of frigates in small engagements, such as pirate suppression campaigns. In major fleet engagements, cruiser squadrons support the dreadnought battle line by screening their flanks against enemies attempting to maneuver for a main gun bow shot from their vulnerable broadsides. Alliance cruisers are named after cities of Earth. Dreadnoughts. The dreadnought is the ultimate arbiter of space warfare. Millions of tons of metal, ceramic and polymer dedicated to the projection of firepower against an enemy vessel of like ability. No sane commander would face a dreadnought with anything less than another dreadnought. A dreadnought's power lies in the length of its main gun. Oh yeah, giggity giggity. Dreadnoughts range from 800 meters to 1 kilometer long, with a main gun of commensurate length. An 800 meter mass accelerator is capable of accelerating one 2 kilogram slug to a velocity of 283 kilometers per second every 2 seconds. Each slug has the kinetic energy of 38 kilotons of TNT, 3 times the energy released by the fission weapon that destroyed Hiroshima. So each slug is same as firing 3 Hiroshimas. Awesome. When used to bombard planets, some of this kinetic energy is lost to the atmospheric re-entry friction. As a rule of thumb, each Earth atmosphere of air pressure saps approximately 20% of a projectile's impact energy. The Turian fleet presently has 37 dreadnoughts, the Sari 21 and the Silurians 16. Humanity has 6, with additional hull under construction at Arcturus Station. Alliance battleships are named for mountains of Earth: Everest class, Everest, Fuji, and Elbrus. Kilimanjaro class, Kilimanjaro, Taishan, Shasta, Aconcagua under construction. Okay. Starships. Fighters. Fighters are probably the smallest. Fighters are single pilot combat small craft. They are lightweight enough that they can be economically fitted with powerful elemental zero cores, making them capable of carrying. Okay, let's finish this last of this codex for today, and then I'll do the next one next week. So, fighters are single pilot combat small craft. They are lightweight enough that they can be economically fitted with powerful element zero cores, making them capable of greater acceleration and sharper maneuvers than starships. I think the Normandy is a fighter. Kinetic barrier shields change starship battles from short, vicious bloodbaths to extended, indecisive slugging matches. Only the main gun of a dreadnought could punch a mass accelerator slug through the barriers of an opposing dreadnought. This changed with the development of the fighter launched mass disruptor torpedo, a short-range weapon that can penetrate kinetic barriers to destroy the projector assemblies. Starship Guardian defenses must be overwhelmed through swarm tactics. Fighter groups can take heavy casualties pressing their torpedo attacks home. I will in a sec. Once fighter launched torpedoes have crippled an enemy's barriers, the mass accelerators on frigates and cruisers can make short work of them. Interceptors are a type of fighter optimized to attack other fighters, with no ability to damage starships. Interceptors are used to screen friendly units from incoming fighter attack. Anyway, that's the codex for this week, and I'll see you all next week. Have fun and goodbye.